Okay, following my new zodiac format here, we're going to take a look at the earth signs. We're starting with Taurus. Oop, there we go. And let's just take a look and see what we have for the next week or so on these earth signs. And the root card here is the Magician. And the main card is the Seven of Wands. I'm going to try to turn on one more light just to see if we can fix this a little. Let's see if that made any difference. And if not, then that's the way it's going to be. Okay, Seven of Wands. And paired with the Magician, right away, this seems pretty good because the Magician is about like recognition of your abilities and confidence in what you do, in manifesting your many skills. So the Seven of Wands is kind of about coming out of an old restriction. And normally, whenever I see the Seven of Wands, I always say honor all the shit you did to get to this point and do not turn back around, because turning back around is going back into the place of restriction that shows in the dark and scary forest. Now, what we'll do is pull a card here to represent the dark and scary forest. Whoop. And we'll pull another card just to represent where the energy is heading. Wow, that's interesting. So the restriction is the King of Pentacles, and moving forward is the Devil. So the King of Pentacles is like the business owner type of energy. And I'm trying to really figure out how that is the restriction. I mean, the way that this makes the most sense is kind of if you know, if the King of Pentacles is something that you were working for instead of working toward, you know, like working for the king, and here it's moving out of that toward the devil being like your true obsession. But bouncing off of the Magician on the bottom, it's like it's a realization of your true skills. And here that's moving away from the King of Pentacles toward the Devil. I'm going to pull one more on this King of Pentacles just so we can figure out why this is such a restriction. And we get the Ace of Wands. I'm guessing that this is like a parent type situation, or maybe like familial energy or something like that, just because we get the Ace of Wands and, you know, we have the care for the baby down here. Now, looking at this, I don't think the King of Pentacles is necessarily a bad thing. But here it really does show that it's a restriction of the skill that is being realized or blossoming in the Magician. Now moving forward toward the Devil and toward your true obsession, your true possession. Huh, that's interesting. All right, let's just pull one more for the Devil as we see. So we get the reverse Queen of Cups. Now, this really looks like it's kind of a striking out on your own type of reading, because the Queen of Cups reversed. So this is the loving, devoted mother. And this is kind of the opposite of the loving, devoted mother. So for Taurus, and the King of Pentacles is normally really good for Taurus because that's Taurus type energy. But here it's like sort of moving away from that and moving toward the Devil. Now, there might be kind of a warning in here too about maybe, I don't want to say straying too far from home, but this is like just make sure that you aren't burning all of your bridges behind you. Even though this stable energy back here shows as a restriction, just try to make sure that you don't burn your bridges to the place that you could like go back to. Maybe that's not exactly right, but don't try to show your appreciation, I guess, for where you came from. Um, huh. Following the devil. In this case, the devil is a good thing. Fascinating. So that is what we get for Taurus. All right, so now we're going to look at Virgo, and we've got Virgo coming up for the next week. Boop. And the root card is the World. So the main card, wow, it's the King of Pentacles. So fascinating. So the World is showing a graduation. It's the end of a chapter of your life, and it shows some level of completion, and then you're like ready to move on to the next chapter. Now here, this directly relates to the King of Pentacles, which is, you know, the business owner. And the King of Pentacles basically controls the wealth and stability. So let's just see where it comes from, where it's going. Coming from the King of Cups and moving toward the Five of Cups. Now, it's interesting because the way that I'm laying down the cards, if you were to reverse these, and it's true about the one that I just did too, they would seemingly make more sense, but that is not what we get. So, moving from a King of Cups, and the King of Cups is, again, this is a merchant, but this is more about emotional and spiritual energy. And the King of Cups is sort of the master of that sort of exchange. Moving from this emotional and spiritual energy into a much more material sort of wealth and stability. And here, as it moves forward, it looks like immediately we are going to have a Five of Cups situation. And the Five of Cups shows an emotional breakdown. It's in a relationship that's been there for a while that just has been too close for too long, and it kind of needs time to separate. Now, let's just find out more about this five, because let's figure out what the fuck that is. Okay, and we get a reversed Knight of Swords. Now, just to put this whole thing into perspective, because the Knight of Swords, this is defensive energy, but it's like defensive energy gone berserk. So the Knight of Swords is like the guard dog that would try to kill the mailman, you know, or someone who just wasn't a threat. So we've got a lot of this defensive energy that is wrapped up in some sort of like long-term kind of committed relationship. Now, the World is showing that something is ending, right? And it's going to open up like a whole new life, basically. And we do have a lot of the emotional mastery turning into physical, material mastery. So with this stuff, it looks like it would be best to let the energy of the World kind of take over. The energy of the World is stronger than either of these two, since it is a major arcana card. But if you are facing some fucking repeated uh, emotional breakdown in a relationship where people have kind of seemingly lost their mind, try to let that phase of your relationship and your life just end. You know, it's like when she gets to the point of the world, um, it shows up when there's like nothing else to learn from that stage. You know, you've kind of learned everything you can from that stage, and it's time to start a new thing. So try to remember that when this is happening. If you're in this repeated relationship where someone has just gone berserk and lost their mind, first try to figure out if that's you, and maybe put that in check. But try to see what it is in your life that is coming to a fundamental close, and you can use that knowledge to reset the things that are happening here. Like maybe in the past, communication is broken down, and you couldn't stand to be around each other or close to each other. But now that there is a new thing happening within, maybe that can open up some new communications, or you can just get the fuck out of there, which shows in the world. But it is kind of cool if there has been a lot of emotional and spiritual mastery that has existed, it kind of translates now into material wealth and stability. This is like when when I first became a tarot reader, that would be, I mean, something like a King of Cups, right? At least a something of cups. And then when being a tarot reader became my actual profession, that's like something of a King of Cups into a King of Pentacles type thing. So that's what we get here. Just don't forget that something is fundamentally ending and changing, which shows in the world. So good luck with that, Virgo. Okay, and now we move to Capricorn. Let's see what we got coming up for the next week. All right, root card of the Queen of Pentacles. So the Pentacles family seems to be very popular. I guess they're earth sign readings, so that makes sense. And the main card of the King of Cups. So let's just see a little bit of what's happening around this. We have two court cards. Family stuff. Wow. Okay. Well, all right. Number one, there is family stuff. This doesn't look like any of it is fucked up. Now, truly, if we look at this at face value, this is kind of a coming together of people of three different families. At the root, the Queen of Pentacles, this is the loving, devoted mother figure. And sometimes the way she shows her devotion is a little bit lost on her children, but she really cares, and she likes to take care of people. So we have the Queen of Pentacles, who's like trying to take care of the people around her. Now, in the center, the King of Cups. This is the master of the emotional exchange, and the King of Cups coming off of the Queen of Pentacles. I mean, it does show a certain amount of emotional fulfillment, I'm, a, I'm assuming, at taking care of your people, right? Now, on either side, what we have are these two pages that are going opposite directions. Now, we have the Page of Swords over here and the Page of Cups. Now, if we just look at the way that the king is looking, so he's looking and he's kind of toasting the Page of Swords. And this is about sort of exploring new ways of seeing things. So we're at a page. So the page is a card of exploration, more of experience, I would say. You know, like the page doesn't necessarily have any commitments to keep or anything like that. They can just sort of wander around and have experiences. But the page specifically is kind of really good at tuning in to one specific thing and like seeing a bunch of it. So here, the King of Cups is toasting the Page of Swords. So another part of this emotional fulfillment is just sort of, I guess, playing with perception, um, trying to see what you can see, like zoning into one specific thing and seeing, if you can see it. Now, the back is kind of turned to the Page of Cups, but I don't feel like the Page of Cups is being hosed, we'll say. I don't know if there's a better way to say that, but I don't think the Page of Cups is getting hosed here. It just like these two, their energies are moving apart in the directions of the cards. But this looks so much like a freaking bouquet of flowers to me that I don't think any of them are being denied. But the Page of Cups is just the emotionally open experience, just like the Page of Swords. So if you blend these two, then we have sort of a new experience in perception, um, while being very open and not putting too much weight onto an emotional experience. So this would be like seeing and feeling something new without putting so much weight on it that it would freak you out, or that you would have to then do that thing forever. um, Queen of Pentacles into a King of Cups. I mean, the other thing that I'm definitely going to say about this is it does kind of look like a cast of characters. This looks like a bouquet of people, um, which is interesting. Family stuff in there for sure. So, try to make sure that you're not completely denying your family. And this is maybe a couple different families too. So your like larger family, it looks like it's a good time for that energy to be around. And let's just see if there's one more. Holy fucking shit! It's another court card. We get a Page of Wands. I was just trying to see if there was another thing that like came out of this. So, dang. And this is the third page. So we have a king, a queen, and three pages. And this one is just about believing in yourself. So having a new sensory experience, I guess, sensing and feeling something new and believing in the way that it works for you. Um, Also, don't deny your family. And this is like all four families that can show in the tarot now. But wow, with the center being the King of Cups, this looks pretty good because it all sort of leads to a greater emotional mastery. So, holy shit, that's what we get for Capricorn. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to let me know. I do also do personal readings, which you can contact me for. And the email is tarotbyfergus@gmail if you want to hit me up for a personal reading. That's what we got for now, and peace.